Madoff was convicted in prison for 150 years. 6 months. But Ramalinga Raju is still lying in the air-conditioned room of Apollo Hospital in Hyderabad. No charge sheet yet. This is one of the things that we need to correct. Anna Hazare is right in saying that country needs a change in law. The one thing that I accept, and what he says is correct. We need an independent public prosecutor. Hong Kong was the most corrupt country of Asia. Once the independent public prosecutor was appointed, within 10 years, Hong Kong has become the cleanest country now, and the Transparency International is right at the top. Here also, when President Clinton, on that Monica Lewinsky case, America appoints an independent prosecutor on an ad hoc basis. Watergate, they appointed a public prosecutor, independent public prosecutor. India too, we can have, and I am testing the law already, even without Anna Hazare's proposed amendment. He is proposing a general amendment, but I am saying on corruption law, we can have an independent public prosecutor, because I had gone to court asking the court, that is the trial court, not the Supreme Court, the trial court, please appoint me as an independent public prosecutor. So the court said, how can we? The CRPC says that only government lawyers can be appointed public prosecutors. So I said, yes, that is in the CRPC. But the Prevention of Corruption Act, that says that you can appoint an independent public prosecutor. He said, read it out to me. So I read section 5. It says that the person who files the private complaint on corruption under the Prevention of Corruption Act can be appointed as an independent public prosecutor under the law. And the judge tells me, I never knew this law existed. But I don't blame him, because nobody had brought it to his attention. And most people don't know the law. The law is now, I think, society has become so complex. I think our educational system should now start teaching law as a required subject, so that everybody knows some law and they're not terrified by law. In the short run, yes, we need to tighten the laws, particularly this independent public prosecutor. And 1 or 2 people go to jail, it has a very salutary effect. But long run, it's not so simple, because people will then start finding other ways of being corrupt. And that, we must understand the root of corruption then. It's my last thing that I want to say to you. What is the root of corruption? It's greed. To make more money. Why you want to make more money? Because that's what gives you social status. Of course, it affords you a lot of amenities, but that, you don't need all that money. But this money, for more and more money, to throw around money, that's a search for social status. Our society, Hindu society, what is called a Sanatana Dharma, has understood this from the very beginning. When 2 great rishis met to discuss how to structure society, one was Rishi Bhrigu and the other was Rishi Bhardwaj. They met to discuss how to structure society so it's stable. So Rishi Bhrigu said, there are 4 sources of power in a society, and we must ensure that nobody has more than one of that. What are the 4 sources? Knowledge, weapons, second, wealth, third, land, fourth. These should not be in one hand. Not even 2 should be in one hand. So those who have knowledge will not have weapons, will not have wealth, will not have land. And they will be venerated the most. Those who have weapons will rule the country, But they cannot make policy. They can't decide when to go to war. They cannot give punishment under the law for criminals. In other countries of Europe where the kings were there, they were the authority for declaring war, authority for giving punishment. So that was monarchy. Ours was not a monarchy. Because they had to go to the people with the knowledge to seek their permission, seek their advice. Those who had wealth were certainly, they had a right to make wealth. But their social status will depend on how much philanthropy they do. Those who had land would have to produce for the society. Those who were pushed out of society, there were very few those days. It all happened after these invasions that these numbers grew. Their children will not be pushed out. In fact, none of these four categories of Varna, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra, none of them was by birth. If at all, as Rishi Atre said, everyone is born a Shudra, but afterwards when he selects his vocation in life, he becomes a Dvija and then he goes to one of these castes. Veda Vyasa, who is a Maharishi who wrote the Ramayana, Mahabharata, his mother was a fisherwoman. Valmiki is considered to be a child of the Dalits. He wrote the Ramayana, he became Maharishi. Kalidasa was the greatest poet we produced, and he was a hunter. Vishwamitra, the Rishi of Rishis, he was born in a Kshatriya family. Where is this Brahmin supremacy that people talk about? The knowledge. And yes, Brahmin, there was a famous Brahmin, and he was Ravan. Ravan was a Brahmin. Most people don't know that. Karunanidhi never knew that and he used to worship Ravan. He used to celebrate Ravan Leela. Because Rama was from north, therefore he must be a Brahmin. I said, no. Rama is a Kshatriya. No, I can't be. He said, Ravan is a Brahmin. In fact, he went to Mansarovar. In fact, I had urged the Chinese to reopen Mansarovar because my influence with the personal friendship with their topmost leader, Deng Xiaoping, he agreed, and I was the first pilgrim to go after 35 years. So on the way to Mansarovar, I saw a very big lake on the way. I thought that was Mansarovar, so I told my guide, Tibetan guides, that Mansarovar has come. They said, no, this is called Ravan Haranga. So I said, Ravan Haranga, what does that mean? They said, Haranga means Sarovar, that is lake. But Ravan we don't know, some Indian name. So I said, oh really? Let me also collect a sample of this water. They said, no, don't touch this water. If you drink it, you will be poisoned. You may even die. So an evil thought crossed my mind. I filled a bottle of that water and brought it and gave it to Karunanidhi and said, please drink it. He did tapasya, Ravan did tapasya there. That's why Shiva Bhagavan was available to him whenever he wanted. But he broke the law. So a Kshatriya killed him. The Brahmins of India do not worship Ravan and say that this Rama, terrible fellow, he's killed one of our Brahmins. He doesn't say that. Because it got nothing to do with birth. But he's got connected with birth now. And that's why it's creating problems. Because Karunanidhi no more talks about Ravan anymore. He only talks about Rama. Once when I was arguing the matter on Ram Setu in Supreme